Welcome to another episode of Edison Means Business. Our guests today are Jim Rydell from Rydell Volkswagen, Janet Bayo, past chair of the Edison Chamber of Commerce, Amit Gaglani from Accelerated Physical Therapy and Rehab. And we have with us two very successful business owners here in Edison. Gentlemen, Janet, welcome to Edison Means Business. So, we're going to start very quickly. Jim, can you tell us a little bit about Rydell Volkswagen and introduce yourself, the history of your company, and even where your father started it in 1954.
Sure. Thanks for having me, first of all. 1954, it was Rydell Pontiac. Was established by my dad. We sold Pontiacs, Vauxhalls, Ramblers, and we even pumped a little mobile gas on the side on Middlesex Avenue in Metuchen. We were there for 13 years before we moved across the street at 2034 Lincoln Highway. And we had our 1968 new car announcement there in our brand new state-of-the-art building in 1968. And we've been there ever since. So 46 years later, we're coming upon starting our 60th year operating in Middlesex County. And
congratulations.
Thank you. And very proud of that fact. Basically, the history was we were Pontiac strictly up until 1992. And in 1992, I acquired the Volkswagen franchise from Handy Motors in New Brunswick, which unfortunately was in bankruptcy, but it became my gift to myself, basically. And in '98, I sold the Pontiac franchise back to General Motors and became solely Volkswagen. So since 1998, I've been strictly Rydell Volkswagen, selling Volkswagen cars, parts, sales, service. Employ about 42 full-time employees, and open 6 days a week, lots of hours, lots of interaction with the community, and it's been a great place, and it's nice to be working across the street from the municipal complex, which was just a woods when we built the place.
Oh, I know. I remember that, believe it or not.
Yeah.
But Rydell really is a name that is part of the history of Edison Township, and I'm just so delighted to be able to have this conversation with you today. And Janet, as part of the chamber, tell us how these two businesses and other businesses really benefit by being part of the Edison Chamber of Commerce.
Well, first I want to thank Jim for being here in Edison so long. He's truly like a landmark that you'd always hear people say, oh, a couple blocks from Rydell, or, it is a name in town. And always thank you for being so much part of the community. He's always involved in the chamber events. And I feel with he's giving a lot too, because the stability and the foundation and the history, like the mayor mentioned, in Edison, you're a perfect representation. And it's a relief to know that you're here, that we know we have a resolution that your company is here to help us. So I want to thank both of you very much for your contributions to the business community, as well as reaching out to the residents. I mean, building the relationship with the people in town with a trustworthy name, which is very, very important. So I thank you as part of the chamber.
Well, thank you, Janet. And Amit, now you are a younger version of Jim. You're newer to the municipality, but you didn't just, I met you a couple of years ago when you started your company, and we were there for your ribbon cutting, and we've seen you succeed and thrive. So tell us, please, a little bit about your business.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for having me today. And as Janet and both you know, I'm a member of the Chamber of Commerce and a board member of the Chamber of
Yes.
Commerce. So yes, it brings us great joy to be part of the membership and to be part of the board to interact with the community and help out the community. Accelerated is about 8 years old. In that 8 years, we've won actually numerous awards, both locally within the state and as well as nationally. And we're very proud of that because it's a testament to our employees for the hard work that they do caring for other individuals. As you guys know, we're a physical therapy office. And as a physical therapy office, we're interacting with individuals every single day. Our goal is to help them improve what they're coming to us for. A great deal of pain is, what people that come into our office are used to. We're there to change that. With our hands, with certain exercises that we may do, with certain modalities we do, we're interacting with people to make that physical change. And it's great for us because we get to see people limping in, and by the time they're done, they're running out, and they're able to run and go back to their exercise, their activities, their functions. They're taking care of their children, taking care of their family, or playing their specific sport. It brings us great joy to be able to return somebody to a former function that they had, or something that they want to be able to do that they haven't been able to do for years. So it's very. It's a nice feeling to be able to give that to somebody, to give them something that they've been missing for a while, and it brings us great joy, and our employees do a great job of that.
Wonderful. So yours really is a very rewarding career.
Absolutely.
And, we're just so delighted that you're here. And, Jim, I am going to go right back to you if you don't mind. Tell us something about, you mentioned that you have about 42 employees. What is their capacity? I don't think they're all sales, correct?
Oh, no. That's a misconception in automobile dealership. We're like 4 businesses in one. And sales is actually a small part of it now. Service operation, parts operation, and actually we have a finance and insurance operation within in the building. And most of my employees are employed in what we call fixed operations, which is parts and service. I have 12 technicians. We have 4 service advisors. We have 3 parts countermen, 2 managers. We also wholesale parts to the body shops in the area. So it's just not just selling cars.
Right.
It's service, it's selling parts, and it's a people business. I mean, you've got to be on your game. It's a high-ticket item. It's the second most expensive thing people purchase and maintain. So, I hate to go to the old cliche, but the customer's always right. And I think most of my people who've been with me a long time, I can say very proudly that my 2 office gals, I've seen them get married and have their children, watch their children graduate from college.
Wow.
So
That's wonderful.
So established staff, I think, means something. I think I have a 42, I think 10 or 12 are residents of Edison. So it's a good business with good people. It's not just mortar and bricks and screaming advertising on TV. It's a people business. Well, hopefully the name will be on the building no matter what for quite a while to come.
Absolutely.
I have a quick question for you. A couple of years ago, the economy was really like crazy, and now that we're seeing a little bit of a turnaround, do you feel there's more options for people now that are looking to purchase a car versus, are you seeing a change within the last year? Maybe you could advise us. And
Well, in the car business, what we usually gauge consumer confidence. Of course, there is a little bit more consumer confidence, I believe. We gauge it by the amount of, in sales anyway, floor traffic. And that has really been kind of flat for the last 3 years for us. Every once in a while you see an uptick in interest, and especially when you come out with new product. But to your point about the economy, there's less people coming in for service. I think they're holding on to their cars longer. They might be going to Independence to think they're going to be saving some money fixing their cars. But to say I've seen an uptick yet, not yet. Usually real estate starts first,
Yes.
and then retail goes, and I think that's going to happen.
Yes. When someone comes to you for service, is there, depending on what needs and what needs to be repaired, is there a very long wait time between the time the car is taken to you and the car is back to the owners?
The public wouldn't stand for that.
Right.
You could walk in there right now and I'll work on your car.
Excellent.
And depending on the amount of work that has to be done, that triggers how long it's going to be there. We have a fleet of loaner cars that we give out when your car is in for service for any extended period of time.
I did want to compliment you also on how you strategically turn your cars.
Once a week we try and do that, but you try and, in the automobile business with your big ticket inventory, you try and turn your inventory over every 45 days, which is an ideal thing but doesn't happen all the time.
I really like to see the variety, so thank you.
Well, we like to expose the variety. We have a lot of good stuff to show.
Very good. And Ahmed, how many employees do you have, and do any of your employees live right here in Edison?
Yes, quite a few actually live in Edison. We have about 25 employees, but we have about 3 offices in various towns as well. So our employees sometimes rotate between different offices, and some of them are pretty close by as well.
Very good.
And you just received, well, you did receive a Chamber Award, and you did also have the Home News.
That's right. The Chamber Award was a year or two ago, and that was
Right.
an Outstanding Business of the Year.
Yes.
And then the Home News Tribune awarded us Best of the Best in Middlesex County for physical therapy.
That's
so
a very
yeah,
big
we were
honor.
quite honored at that. Yeah, you know, our employees were very happy.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
you. They were very happy. You know, they put in time and effort into changing people's lives, and it's nice to see that it's recognized by the public, because this was a Reader's Choice Award. So patients actually went and voted for us. We were very happy.
Now, let me ask you a question. If somebody was in pain and
Sure.
obviously, you know, they are looking for their relief, they need to go to their physician first with the prescription to come to you, or can they just come to you and say, you know, what their problem is? I mean, maybe the viewers, you could tell the viewers if they do need to go see you, what would be the procedure, the process?
Sure. Our typical patient actually does go to their physician. They've known their
Okay.
physician for many years, so they go to their physician. And being that physical therapy is considered conservative in treatment, the physical therapy is usually considered one of the first options. So a primary care physician or an orthopedic surgeon will say, you know, you need physical therapy because we're there to try
Right.
to change that. But you don't have to necessarily go to your physician. You know, you can come straight to us for treatment. You know, we're allowed to treat them straight off the bat. You know, insurance companies may have different restrictions and regulations, but once you come into us, we call your insurance and find out the rules and regulations, and we let you know. We accept majority of the insurances out there. You know, that's becoming more and more complex of a deal. But yes, we accept most of them. Navigating the insurance world is always challenging, but you know, we're up for the challenge. We have employees that actually specialize in that and do that, and we try to help out and give patients as much information as we can ahead of time, so they know what's going on and what they're getting into as well, both on a financial front as well as from a physical therapy point of view. You know, when we do the initial evaluation, we tell them, this is what we see. This is what, you know, normally is written literature-wise, what is considered best plan of care for this type of treatment. This is what you're looking at, you know, so they have an idea from the get-go of what's going on.
That is wonderful, because sometimes stress can add to back pain. That's what I've heard.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, stress can add to everything, but yes. Back pain, neck pain. We see a whole host of issues. We see from neck pain, back pain. We see patients after surgery, orthopedic surgeries, different type of neurological surgeries. We see the patients because rehabilitation is a big part of you getting back to yourself and getting back on your feet again. So yes, we see a lot of back patients, but we see patients for their knee surgery, for their ankle surgeries, for hands, for you name it. We basically see it after that. Our goal is to get you back to what you were like, and if you were an athlete, to get you back at the top level of your game. If you are somebody who, you know, is at home and your balance is deteriorating, where our job is to make sure that your balance improves and that you're not a risk to yourself and that you're not going to fall. We treat different types of disorders, from vertigo to, ankle sprains to strains to post-surgical patients. So,
That's
Anna,
interesting.
can you tell us your hours of operation, days, and say the times?
Sure.
And of course,
That's an easy one.
we're interested in your Edison
Oh,
office,
of course, of
you
course.
know.
Well, they're pretty much all the same, but
Okay.
7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Friday. And on Saturdays, by appointment, we're there from 9 to 12.
Oh, okay.
So we have multiple therapists. They speak multiple different languages. So we have
Right.
a wide variety of people that can help, and being there from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. gives a lot of hours.
Yes.
So
Yes. And Jim, I think you also said you're open 6 days a week. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so what day do you have off? Is that your golfing day? Whatever
Well,
it is?
at this point in time, I would like to say that I try and take off as much as I can, but no, I don't work Saturdays like I used to as much, but I'm there pretty much 5 days a week. Sales is open on Saturday, but we are, open in 7:30 to 5:30 in parts and service. We have one night a week in service and parts that we're open till 8 o'clock, and Saturdays we're open from 9 to 2. That's parts and service.
Right.
Sales is 9 to 9, Monday through Thursday, 9 to 6, Friday and Saturday.
Oh,
And there's a
okay.
ban on selling cars on Sunday in the state of New Jersey.
Oh,
Day
not
of rest
going
is
to
great.
happen.
Do you ever, I'm going to throw this question out to the both of you, do you ever get prepared for like a spike? Like comes a winter time, do you say, and we have snow, do you say, I know we're going to be busy in the next 2 weeks, people are shoveling, or the ice, somebody may slip and fall, and on your behalf, it's maybe at the end of a school year where children are going to college and they know they have to purchase, they're giving them their car and they need to purchase another car. Do either business see a spike?
Go ahead.
we've been in business for 8 years, so we have good historical data.
Okay.
And I think any good business analyzes these things
Right.
and looks at what they need to prepare for. So yes, we prepare ourselves. We know certain times of the year, certain injuries are going to happen. So
Right.
we formulate a newsletter about, let's say, snow shoveling, proper ways to shovel. In the springtime, it's about gardening, proper ways of gardening so you don't hurt yourself. Our goal ultimately is to help people not to
Preventive.
injure themselves.
Right.
We know the typical person will try to do their best, but then sometimes they forget.
Right.
And they end up doing the wrong thing. So we make our best effort to help them to say, you know what, this is the right way you should do these things. So by putting the newsletter together, you get some people that are interested in that will read that. On the business end, we make sure that we have enough staff available for those certain hours that we know there's certain times of the years. Let's say when kids go back to school, there's sports injuries. We know that there's going to be an influx of people coming in at that time. We want to make sure that we're ready for that business. We want to make sure that that our therapists are going to continuing education courses constantly to improve their knowledge base, so that way they can transfer that to the patient and educate them. And a lot of it is educating patients that this is what you need to do to take care of yourself. It's not all about just us doing it for you.
Right.
We want you to learn this, so in case in the future this happens, you're prepared and that you understand what to do for yourself.
There is no spike. We're always hoping there's a spike, but we're prepared for it. We're always totally staffed, but some people say you're busy in the summer, sometimes end of year. There really is no rhyme or reason. In 42 years that I've been doing this, it's all over the map. So you prepare for it every day.
I know we get asked this specific question quite often, so
Sure.
it's probably good to address to the general public too. They ask us, what is the difference between chiropractic and physical therapy? Is physical therapy just exercise? Do you have a gym? We get a lot of these type of questions. There are similarities between chiropractic and physical therapy, and then there's big differences between the two as well. Physical therapy, as I was mentioning before, yes, we see patients for their neck, we see patients for their back, but we're also seeing patients who sprain their wrist or have a fractured wrist that need to rehabilitate properly, or they had knee surgery, or they had an ACL reconstruction doing a sports injury. We're working with our hands to increase the mobility so it functionally improves them so they can go back to their normal either sport or functional activity. But we're using exercise, we're using our hands, we're using modalities of ultrasound, laser, different types of things to really get them back to that. Your typical treatment time when it comes to physical therapy, you're there about an hour because you're doing all these different things. Our ultimate goal is to only see you for a couple weeks to get you on the right track. That way you continue on your own. We'll tell you this is the homework that you need to do on your own. We're not looking to see you for the rest of your life for this specific injury. We want to get you on the right track. understand what's going on, educate you, and then basically release you. Now, if you ever need us, of course we're there for you. Of course we'll be happy to help you out. But that's the goal when it comes to physical therapy. We're treating things like vertigo, we're treating things, neurological problems like stroke, as well as some Parkinson's, some other issues as well. Chiropractic, they largely do see neck and back patients. They do see some other things, but that's their core business. They're adjusting, they're treating the spine, and there is some overlap between what we do and what they do. There are some similarities in that thing. Their patients usually end up coming back, and then you're going to be their patient for a long time. I mean, their philosophy is slightly different than ours. They want you to keep coming back, to stay regular. With us, we're more about educating you and getting you straight, and then you don't need us unless something happens again. That's where the different philosophy. It's not one way or the other way. It's just a different approach. Some things work great for physical therapy. Something works great for chiropractic services. They sometimes also think that we're all about exercise, and that's not a true statement either. Yes, exercise is a component of what we do, but it's not the whole thing. What the whole thing is taking an appropriate evaluation and figuring out what the problem is. Once we know what the problem is, coming up with a plan of treatment. They feel empowered that they have some control over their well-being as well, that they're not reliant and dependent on somebody else somebody else all the time. And that's the whole point. We want to get you from that point A to point B, where you basically take care of yourself. And some of that is educating too, analyzing and educating and showing them proper ways of doing certain things. Quite often, like my household, we just had a new baby. Getting a new baby into a low car is very difficult. There's no almost right way to do it, but you teach somebody, this is the proper way, this is what you need to do, this is what you need to control, because if you don't do it this way, the back problem that you currently have, you're going to exacerbate it. If you do exacerbate it, this is what you need to do, A, B, and C, to take care of it.
And that's something everyday, daily routine. You really don't think of how you could. And congratulations from all of us
Oh, thank you.
on your new arrival.
Thank you.
First baby girl.
First baby girl, that's right.
And you have 2 boys.
We have 2 boys,
The new baby is Sarah. And
New
what are the
baby's
boys'
Sarah.
names?
The boys' names are Summer and Neil.
Oh, wonderful.
Very,
name.
very nice. Well, congratulations.
They see me every day come home with a smile, because I know I've helped people at work, and that they know that I love what I do, and that makes them happy. That makes them want to do the same thing. Raising money for breast cancer and doing the walk and having everybody wear pink and just getting involved. It's fun.
Yes.
Well, I have to thank you, because I think the mayor will agree. Between the two of you, the passion you have for the community, I think you could it's obvious.
Yes.
And as part of the community, I just want to say thank you for both of you being there, because you do make a difference in the community.
Sure.
Thank you.
I would like to thank all of you for being here today. This has been a wonderful portion, a wonderful episode of Edison Means Business, because you two are the face of Edison Township, and it is my pleasure to welcome you and, of course, Janet to Edison Means Business, and continued success to both of you.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Great.
Wonderful.